Cignetti and the Hoosiers ink a deal, making him the third highest paid coach in college football. Is Indiana now
a football school,
or are they just a bow school? We'll get into talk about all that and the Michigan State game coming up on Saturday. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple, I win. Basketball is a way of life in Indiana that many people will never understand.
Hello guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. We have a ton of stuff to talk about on the show today. Cignetti gets it done, or Pam Whitten and Scott Dolson get it done, making Curt Cignetti the third highest paid coach. I've seen a lot of people talking about the buyout amount and all of these different things. Look, I think that Cignetti is here to stay, and I have a couple of clips lined up. Sorry if my face is a little bit dark. I am in the park by the reservoir right now, and it's a beautiful day, but I cannot find a place where the sun's going to be like directly in my face to get this lighting right. So thank you for bearing with me. But if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that thumbs up button, and hit those notification bells, all that good stuff, because it is a great time to be a Hoosier.
Hoosiers!
And we're going to talk about if we're a basketball school still, hit all of that good stuff. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right. Hillbilly Monkey, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. The Indiana Hoosiers football team, what they did with Curt Cignetti. And I also have a clip lined up of Aiden Fisher. He was on with the Golics, and I just thought it was a great interview, and some of the stuff he said really drives home. Just like his mentality during the game. We're going to look at that clip, and then we're going to look at what Curt Cignetti had to say on CBS Sports after really, really kind words about the people of Indiana. Look, people know, all of us Hoosiers, we are super nice. We've embraced a coach that really brought in a style that I think we're used to. I think he comes in with a style of play that's very similar to Bob Knight. And I hate to say that, but it's just in like the function and the way that he does everything. He is all about winning. He's all about getting it done in the most productive way and not wasting any time. So, yeah, we're always going to be a basketball school, but now we're a both school. Look at like Alabama, their basketball team, the past few years and probably into the future, Alabama's basketball team will probably be better than their football team because it is super hard. We've talked about all this stuff. The playing field has been leveled, like the recruiting and NIL and the guys being able to go wherever they want and just all of that type of thing. It has leveled the playing field. Curt Cignetti is a guy that just is able to target these certain types of players, like not what they're doing, but why they're doing it. It's not the what, it's the why. Like a lot of guys play sports for money, play sports for this, whatever. The guys that he's bringing in here, they're mature beyond their years. And Darren DeVries is actually doing the same thing with the basketball team. First, let's play that clip of Curt Cignetti and what he had to say on CBS Sports, because I thought this was like a really key thing for Indiana, and just it makes you feel like, yeah, he is not, I don't think he's full of shit, you know, even though he is Italian. So, Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll it.
My wife, Minette, and I love Indiana University, Bloomington, the state of Indiana, the people we've met. We have very strong feelings about President Whitten and Scott Dolson. And, you know, we've accomplished a lot here in a short amount of time, but still have a lot of work to do. So I couldn't be more proud to be a Hoosier, and I plan on retiring as a Hoosier. And the way that this state has embraced us and our success in football has meant more to me than anything else. So I just wanted to get on camera and let you know that Curt Cignetti is going to work daily to make Indiana the best they can be.
Couldn't have been kinder words about the people of the state of Indiana and, you know, what he's done here. All the naysayers, you know, that think, you know, Indiana's not a traditional power, so he wouldn't want to be here. I don't think so. I think, you know, if you heard him before, he said he was probably going to retire at JMU and would have been satisfied with that, and probably didn't know if he was going to get his chance to be a coach in the Big Ten. So as much as, you know, a lot of people think, well, he's taking a big chance staying at Indiana now that he's got Indiana took a big chance on him too. And also, I was watching another interview with him. He's been doing a lot of media this week, but I was watching another interview with him, and he was talking about how immediately after, like during the interview process and everything, he really made it clear that he said in the elevator going downstairs with Scott Dolson was like, we gotta like get these resources and get this stuff right. And he said, if you put that stuff in place, we can make it a winner here. And not only did he get that done, getting the resources in place, which not easy to do, but then he capitalized on it the very first year. And then now in this second year, how he has transformed this program into something else is unbelievable. So I was watching Michigan State. I'll say, is this a trap game? Is this not a trap game? I watched like the UCLA game. Their defense is just garbage. I mean, there were like times guys on UCLA, just a simple halfback like running out into the flat, and the guy had all day to throw, and he just flips the ball out into the flat. And like, there are some awful defenders on this Michigan State team. Could they put Indiana on the ropes for a quarter or two? I mean, it's definitely possible. It's homecoming at Indiana. I mean, the crowd is going to be really fired up in this game. So I don't really see Indiana with Curt Cignetti having like a drop-off. And that brings us to my next clip, because Aiden Fisher here, he talks about, did they prepare differently for the Oregon game? Did they do anything different leading up to that game? And what he said, I thought was very, very mature. So, Hillbilly Mugger, let's take a look at that clip of Aiden Fisher here.
Was there kind of added pressure on that, knowing what the criticism of you guys had been, to want to go out and stick at everyone in that particular?
I wouldn't say added motivation. I would just say it's kind of something that you kind of store in the back of your mind. Obviously, Coach Cignetti talks about a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders. At this point, everybody's got a chip on their shoulder for something. A lot of people have something to say about our program and our team, but I think when you put some pressure on yourself and, you make games bigger than they need to be, you can kind of let the moment get to you. So we definitely hear it. Kind of just adds a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, but, every game for us is the same. The preparation stays the same. And our approach to it, because if you're not, it's kind of a disservice to your team to take one team more serious than the next.
That's the thing with this dude. It's like Curt Cignetti, and he's got this team. It's all about stacking good days. Everyone knows he's at the office at 4:30 in the morning every day, preparing for what the team's going to do and all of that. That's not the case with every coach. Not every coach. It's so easy to get complacent in your life. It's so easy to get complacent no matter what you're doing. So to have that constant drive, and I think Curt Cignetti has it, and I think we have this dude for a good decade at Indiana. I also think he's the type of coach that if he coaches here for a decade, his personality and everything, maybe he hands it off to another assistant that he's had or something like that, and he can even groom the next Indiana coach, and we could just keep this thing going. Because there's no reason that Indiana in 2025 can't be good at football. In the past, we all know this, like Indiana is littered with very tiny towns. Like the town I grew up in, Auburn, had like 6,000 people back in the 70s. If you go back to that time when some of these other schools started getting real good at football, Indiana was just one state where, and I know you got Notre Dame, they built their brand into a national power, but basically it was really hard to put high school football teams together in Indiana because you need like at least a good 30 guys to have a football team, and a lot of places that just wasn't possible. We're in a different age now. We're still littered with a lot of small towns, but it's go Hoosiers. But yeah, it's
people out here in New York loving the Hoosiers. How about that?
So yeah, the fabric, the landscape of college football and all of these things, they have changed in a fundamental way where Cignetti able to come in here and do what he's doing, and it is just great to watch. This football team, and I believe they're going to expand the stadium. They're going to keep making everything look better. And look, we've said it before, Bloomington is a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to live, and it's very, although it's not close to like a big city, like Indianapolis is the closest city, it's just a very quaint, lovely place to be all the time. Isn't it, Hillbilly Monkey? What do you think about what they're going to do against Michigan State? And everything like that. Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey land that's sold in home goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection. Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you that I don't think that Michigan State really has a chance in this game. I mean, Indiana, they don't really look like they're looking at, they're going to be trapped in any of these type of games. You look at Michigan State, they got, I think, the same quarterback as last year, and they have really been struggling to have an identity on defense at all. And the way that this Indiana defense is playing so fast, I see maybe turnovers, maybe a lot of things. Maybe Michigan State scores a touchdown on Indiana early. I don't know. I watched the UCLA, and yeah, they got a running back who can power it up in there. So yeah, you're gonna have to. These guys got a lot of pride. They don't want to lose their game. They don't want to go out there and get their ass spanked by Indiana again like they did last year, especially after they were chanting overrated. Yeah, do you remember that last year? Indiana got down in that game 10-0, and then yeah, they started chanting overrated when it was 10-0, and from that point on, I think it was like 56 straight points without Michigan State seeing the ball. So it's homecoming for Indiana this weekend. We got the Hoosiers playing basketball tonight. I can't wait to see how this basketball team's going to look. I don't know if there's going to be a way we can try to find a way that we can watch this or not watch this, but yeah, I just cannot wait to see Darren DeVries and this group out there. And by all accounts, this football season being the way it is taking a ton of pressure off of Darren DeVries. And I mean that in the best way possible, because look, in the years past where every year I got ready for Indiana football, and I'd be looking at this guy, and I'd be looking at this guy, and I'd be, even be talking to my dad like, hey, you think, they got this quarterback, and, but some of the receivers we've had in the past and guys we brought in, and we were like super excited about that. And then Indiana's football team, we'd play 3 games, we'd maybe beat those lowly teams, and then we would just end up getting our ass spanked once we'd play anybody decent. And it was just it's like in your mind, it just gets you very down. And then you're really like ramped up for basketball season these last 8 years. So it puts a higher emphasis on the basketball team because, yeah, we had nothing else to really root for that time. So this is a great time for Darren DeVries this year with this team. Maybe, the football team plays in the playoff, and I don't want to count my chickens, but, the football team's playing into January. That, he's shouldering. He's shouldering some of the load for everybody. That's a great thing for DeVries. It is a lot of pressure. And, like Mike Woodson cracked under the pressure completely, and Archie Miller cracked under the pressure completely. Like, let's just face it, like those guys, they could not do it. I think this is a great time for DeVries to really put his mark, and pressure is not for everybody. So, like, not everybody wants to be under pressure all the time, and not everybody accepts it in the same way. Some people just freak out and run away, and that's all they want to do. And speaking of running away, I'm in New York City right now, just having a vacation. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be a both school going forward, and I really can't wait to see what they're gonna do in these next lead-up games leading up to Penn State, because I do believe that we're headed for the Big Ten championship, and that could be a good or a bad thing. It might be a better thing for Indiana if they did still make the playoff and lose a game, just so you didn't have to play in that Big Ten championship game, because Oregon played in that game last year, and I felt like that was a big disservice to them. Oregon blew the doors off of somebody in the Big Ten championship game, but it's almost like a nothing game. So, could your team get complacent, or, leading up to a game that it's hard to put a lot of meaning into? Would that be better for them to not be in that position where they would have to play in the Big Ten championship game? I don't think there's much benefit to playing in the Big Ten championship game. So tell me what you think about that in the comments down below. But thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.